I don't remember having that many queer artists to look up to when I was a kid. And I can't think of that many like songs about lesbian sex. Olivia is just like the sweetest. She's also Filipino. She saw an opportunity to like highlight two female instrumentalists. That for me was like a massive pivotal moment in my career where I was like, well.
Hi, I'm Coco Mocoe. This is The Middle Row. Today we are saving a seat for Towa Bird and watching her music video, Wild Heart. So I originally found you online from your covers that you would do. How did that start? And like, did you ever get recognition from people online that you were covering?
Yeah. So like, I actually started during the pandemic.
Okay.
One of my friends and like collaborators at the time was like, Towa, like, there's this new app. You should like really try it. And I was like, no, like, you know, like I'm kind of like an old man when it comes to technology. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And then she was like, no, actually you should like do it. Like, I think you'd do well. Like all you have to do is just like do what you do on stage and like be hot and like people will like respond to that. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll try it. And then so I like uploaded my first video, like had like 0 followers, like not even like a profile picture, and then was like so scared that I immediately like deleted the app. I like left it up, and then I checked it like the next day and it had like, I don't know, it had like 500,000 views and like I had like 10,000 followers like overnight, and I was like, whoa, that was like way more than I had ever experienced in my entire life. And like now I'm sure like both of us sitting here, like you have what, 1 million
on TikTok.
So it's like, you know, like now I'm like, whatever to those numbers. But like at the time, you know, I was like 19 and like living in London, and I was like, whoa,
wow,
huge.
You're so right. Like for me, it almost, whenever I meet people in person, it like throws me off because it almost feels like a video game. Like I'm like, oh, I just got a new high score. But then like when I meet people, they're like, oh, I've seen like this video. I'm like, oh, there's actually like real people seeing the video.
No, because there is such a detachment when it comes to like uploading content online.
I saw in a Sony interview that you were born in Hong Kong.
That's right, yeah.
Can you tell me about like everywhere that you've lived and kind of like what your background is?
So I was born in Hong Kong. My parents are Filipino and British. My mom's Filipino, my dad's English. And I moved to Thailand for 10 years, moved back to Hong Kong, and then moved to the UK for 5.
Wow.
And then moved here. And I've been here for like 3 years now. Wow, which is crazy to say. It feels like 2 weeks, but yeah. Yeah,
and you were mentioning in that one interview that moving a lot was hard to socialize, and so you like turned to music.
Yeah, it was like it when you're like a teenager and you're awkward and you're trying to figure out yourself, and at the time like me like coming to terms with like big parts of my personality, like my sexuality, like I like kind of was a little bit of a recluse at a certain, and I was just like so socially awkward. I was like so nervous, and then I would just like find solace in music and like my guitar playing, and would just kind of just like be a bratty teenager and lock myself in my room and like play guitar for like 4 hours after school instead of like hanging out with my friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I feel like it's opened you up to like new friends and stuff that you've probably made now because of your career and everything.
Yeah, I was playing the long game.
Yes.
I didn't even know it, but I was playing the long game.
Yes. We'll get into your music videos too, but I saw the Olivia Rodrigo documentary, and you had like one of my favorite scenes. It was you and Blue Tiger, and you guys were like just going crazy on the guitars in this like abandoned airplane. Yeah. How did that opportunity come about, and like what was that like? Yeah,
well, like Olivia is just like the sweetest. Like she's also Filipino.
Wow.
And like I think she saw an opportunity to like highlight 2 female instrumentalists, like, and use her platform to bring in guests that like she fucks with, and like that's what she did. And like that for me was like a massive like pivotal moment in my career where I was like, well, it was like my first time on like a bigger production, and like one of my first gigs that I did when I moved to this country. So like she really like really, it was really amazing of her to like have me on.
Like, you
as
felt
a
like it
guest.
opened doors and stuff?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, we're sat here still talking about it,
I know,
and it's like
right?
3 years later, and I'm like, yeah, come on, Olivia.
Yes.
That's my girl, like, thank you.
It was even just like the setting. If anyone watching this hasn't seen it, it's so crazy. Like, you guys are literally like in a plane.
No, we had to do like there was like a whole health and safety talk that we were given, like, and everyone was just like, yeah, if you see like a wild snake, like, don't touch it. Like, okay.
What city was that one? Because I know the documentary took place in a couple different. Do you remember what city you filmed that in?
It was literally like in the middle of probably like 2.5 hours outside of LA.
Okay.
Kind of like close-ish to like Red Rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like kind of dangerous being on that airplane, but worth it. Worth it.
Brutal.
It was brutal.
It was literally brutal. Literally brutal in the song. Yes. One last question about your background, because I don't know if this is like true. That's why I'm excited to ask you. In like one article I found, it said that you were considering doing the sports. Is maybe what sport did you play in? And was it something that you were actually like thinking about doing more seriously instead of music?
Well, yeah, I think it's just like to what we were talking about earlier, like I never really thought that I was going to fully do this. So I was kind of like, okay, what else can I do that's like actually what I'm good at? Yeah. And I used to play football, soccer, and I was like, maybe I could do that. I mean, I'm kind of good at that. Yeah.
Do you still watch it and enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I support Chelsea.
Okay, Chelsea. My mom's family is from Ireland, so they'd always watch, and I grew up doing soccer too, but I guess football. But what position were you?
I was either right midfield or striker.
Striker, same. I wanted to get the goals. I was like, you guys can defend the other side. I want to be the one that like celebrate me when I get a point.
No, I wanted the glory. Yeah. I wanted my ego to be inflated. Yes. That was my intention.
Yes. And now to your music, you have the music video Wild Hearts. Was that your first like experience really being on your own music video set? Were you like the principal? And how was that? Yeah,
it was like incredibly nerve-wracking. It was also like a nocturnal shoot, so we actually started, the call time was like 12 a.m.
Wow, at midnight?
At midnight, yeah, because we were shooting in like a real pub that actually had to be open the next day. Wow. So we shot from 12 to 12, like without sleeping. Wow. There was like also that factor of just like, I'm like so nervous and so anxious the whole day, but obviously so excited. Yeah. And then so fucking tired that I was just like, would just like leave and then like be like, oh wait, no, I'm like actually filming, like let me connect with the camera again,
I guess that captures the vibe, because in the beginning it's like you're like cleaning, like you're in like the back of the room, and then there was also like these guys on set that are like fighting, and then like by the end of the song they're kind of enjoying it, and you said they were fun to film with.
They were so fun, and it was really cool to like, this was like my treatment and my idea, so it was like really nice to see that executed. And it's also based on my life. Like, I worked in a pub and like in service for like 2 years.
Oh wow.
So
did you ever go back?
Yeah, all the time.
Wow.
It was like based on my life, and like it's supposed to be just like a daydream that I would have whilst I'm like doing these really menial tasks. Yeah. About like playing an epic guitar solo like on the top of the bar and like falling in love with a girl, what I mean? Yeah. My
first job ever in college was a barista, and like me and my coworkers used to joke that you would have to like force yourself to have a crush on like someone who came in, or else you just wouldn't want to clock in that day. And we all had our designated crushes, and like if they were coming in, we'd be like, come from the back, like you have to go register your crushes here.
Yeah, it's your work crush.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta keep things interesting.
When you go back to your old job, do they ever say like, oh my gosh, like we've seen kind of your music and your rise? Or?
Yeah, they do. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, guys. Like, don't gas me up too much. Like, I'm just here to hang out with you, you know what I mean? Like, it's fair, but they're very sweet. Yeah, it's always nice to have people like from your past who like kind of remember what it was like before. And the outfit that you wear in that video was so sick. Did you find that outfit, or was it like a stylist? No, it wasn't me, sadly. I would have loved it. It's like one of those things where like, oh, I wish I wrote that song. I wish I found that outfit. You know what I mean? It's like a madman like one piece zip up with flares. Like, it was really...
So your other song, you have one for Drain Me, and you were mentioning that it's really fun to perform live. Yeah. Is it like, is there any, so you've been on tour as well. Is there any place that you've been on tour, a city that like you have a fond memory of, and like any specific memory with fans or anything that you think back on?
Yeah, so most recently, London. Played in London for 2 nights, like, I'd say like 3 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And like, for me, that's really special because like, that's kind of where I started this career. So kind of returning back and like having people in the audience who like know my lyrics and like are, just like incredibly sweet and like so supportive is really cool. And it was also the first time like my parents have ever actually seen me play live.
Wow.
Like outside of like a school recital, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that was like quite a big moment for my family. Yeah. And I think it like actually legitimized my career. I was like, yes,
you're like, like people are singing your lyrics versus like maybe sometimes a recital you're like performing other songs and stuff. So it was like something that you created. You had like a funny TikTok talking about some of your lyrics and Drain Me and stuff. Do you ever like feel self-conscious putting that out there as a new artist and expressing those things? Or do you think there's a part of you that compartmentalizes and you're like, no, I want to fully go there and not worry about what people think?
Well, I think that's what people appreciate from me is like explicit authenticity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
and like,
That's so Aries.
And I also, I mean, it's like, I don't remember having that many queer artists to look up to when I was a kid who like, I can't think of that many like songs about lesbian sex. Like literally like maybe I could name like 3 or 4. You know, so like I think it's really important to have that and like be like, actually like queer love is real and like it can be as sexy and as fun as like everyone else, you know what I mean?
And you have an album coming out, is American Hero. Where does the title come from? Yeah,
so it's supposed to be satire because I'm like an immigrant living in this country. So I'm not American. I have like no American heritage. And the hero part comes from when I think of like an American hero, I think of like 6'4", like Chris Pratt, like
jawline,
jawline, blue eyes, blonde hair, like Chris Pratt, like looking motherfucker, and like that's obviously not me. That's like not who I embody. And I also think that like heroism here is viewed in like a lot of like masculine traits, like strength and resilience and stuff like that. But I think a lot of my album explores like more like queer emotions like love, joy, happiness, expression, heartbreak, and like real vulnerability, which I think is kind of like the opposite of like heroism.
That's so true. Like the hero has to be the one that keeps it together.
And
everything's fine.
But I think like the real hero is like the person who shows like depth and like intricacy. You know?
What I love about that too is someone who's like, as me, like not just from America, also from Los Angeles. Like people always say like, oh, LA this, LA that. I actually am so lucky to be in a city where like thousands of people move here every day to try and like make it. And like, I think that's like the most like American thing to be like, okay, like let's make this great.
So true. Yeah. I actually love LA.
Yeah, me too.
People rip on it, or people love to rip on it.
Yeah, but I'm like, but you're still here, so you kind of like it. You kind of like it. And your song Bills is like, I feel like it's also just been kind of like, I've been seeing it on my feed and everything, and people are really leaning into it.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, keep it going, you guys. Where did the I mean, of course, the song is about like, you know, against the system and stuff. Where did the idea for that come from? And how are you feeling about like the reaction to it and people really liking it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great because I think that like I wrote it to be like a Gen Z anthem. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really hard, especially, the reason why I wrote it was like moving to this country and being like, wow, you really have to like pay for everything. Like, insurance costs so much. Like there's no support like in like healthcare and like things that I took for granted in like the previous countries that I lived in. And I was like, wow, it's actually really difficult to like break through.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like, it's hard to be financially in the red.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people can relate to that with like, student loans and like medical debt. Those are really real issues.
Yeah.
That like almost everyone faces, at least at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just kind of had enough one day, and I was like, I need to write a song about this. Like, I need to channel this energy into something. It's my favorite song to play live, actually, because like people really, there's like a sort of community when I play it.
And also, you were mentioning when we were watching the music videos that like you write the songs, was it around like the performances or in the live music and like playing instruments? Do you really value having live instrumentalist on stage because that was your background?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I grew up in like band backgrounds, so I'm kind of like used to just being in a room with like 4 boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that is what brings me comfort, and like the catalyst for my love for music was playing live and like being on a stage. Like, I really love being on a stage. So a lot of American Hero, I wrote it with that in mind of like, okay, so I'm writing the song in the studio, which is like a very specific setting, and like, how is this piece of art going to translate to an audience of like 3,000 people? You know what I mean? And how am I going to make that transition, and like, is it going to be smooth? Yes. is the answer.
Yes. And do you have any musical influences, or do you have anyone that you saw perform live and you're like, oh, I need to do that one day? Like,
all of them are dead.
Oh, really? Oh.
No, like I like my like God, Jimi Hendrix, and obviously sadly he passed.
Yeah.
May God rest him. And like, no, and I loved like the Beatles, and I mean they're still around, but like all of these like kind of like old British bands is like the music that I grew up on.
Yeah. Even when I was like doing research and I'm like, oh, you're from like Britain, I was like, oh, there's probably like that old school rock influence that Britain was known for. And
thanks, Dad. He gave me that.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out, Dad.
Is there anything that you would want someone to know about you when they first either find your music or like watch your videos that they might not know like right off the bat? Like, is there something that you wish that you could like go through the screen and tell people right as they're starting to discover you as an artist?
That's such a great question, by the way.
Thank you.
Good job. Yeah, no, I think people should just listen to my music and like see if it resonates with them, you know. And like I hope that it does. And also, if you're gay, you're gonna love it.
Yeah. And my last question that I ask everyone: do you know what your sun, moon, and rising is?
Yeah. So my sun is Aries, my rising is Taurus, and my moon is Virgo.
Oh, so you have like the earth signs, which I feel like, and I'm not an expert, you guys, but I feel like that earth signs, especially like the you said Virgo rising?
Virgo moon.
Taurus
rising.
Okay, even like the music that like being like, you know, present enough to like learn the instruments, and like so much of it, I like one of my favorite things to think about is usually like becoming an expert in thing, it is like enjoying the boredom of it. Like it's so repetitious and people don't want that, but that's like something that like the earth signs really strive in.
I've never thought about that. You're teaching me about myself. I'm learning.
Yes. And then you have the Aries sun. So it's like probably that, you know, like approaching the world curiously, and Aries is like the first sign. So it's usually like the young energy. And so then your birthday's coming up?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh. Right. I forgot about that.
Aries season, right? I'm like looking off camera because you would know. Yes.
No, my birthday is literally next week. I forgot.
Oh my gosh. Well, happy early birthday. And is there anything I didn't ask you about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we can talk about the snacks.
Yeah, we'll talk about the snacks really quick.
But so I don't know. This is your interview. I don't.
No. Let's do it. Okay, so sparkling water, right? I got the Liquid Death one, but I love sparkling water in glass, but like in order to transport it, I got like this one, but it's still kind of good. Okay,
so I never used to be like a sparkling water kind of guy, but like since moving, I think that's the LA influence on me.
Yeah.
Is like everyone loves a little like fizzy, like cute little drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could be that. I could be that too.
Yeah, I I liked it when I went to France recently, and like I felt like they drink a lot of sparkling water there, and also weirdly Coke Zero. Like I don't know why I felt like where I was in France, they're obsessed with Coke Zero. But
Do you like Coke Zero?
I do now, yeah. Okay. I do. I'm like easily influenced though. I don't really have like a backbone when it comes to any of those things.
I'm getting influenced. The one thing about me is I'm getting influenced.
Same. I'm supposed to be an influencer, but I'm the influenced. I do it the opposite way.
Dude, I saw this thing about like, I was influenced the other day. I was on TikTok and someone was like, oh, you can buy these little like plastic things to put under your rings to like make your rings tighter. Because I have really like skinny little fingers, like tiny paws. And like, she was like, yeah, you can get these like things online. And I was like,
was it TikTok Shop?
It probably was. I was like, wait.
Did it work? You got it?
I don't know. They haven't arrived
okay,
yet,
well,
I'll keep you posted.
I was like, I had a phase, you guys. This is also not sponsored. I was so obsessed with TikTok Shop that around Christmas time, me and my friends were going to do a white elephant, but like we didn't end up doing it, but we were only going to get people things from TikTok Shop. And I got these like clip-on bangs for $3, but they actually were so good. They're in some of my videos. I know. They're like a little different shade of my hair. And then...
Wait, why was the criteria that you had to get it from TikTok Shop?
Because we just thought it was so funny. Because like everything on there is such a hit or miss.
No, it's so funny.
Emphasis on miss. But it was just like...
A TikTok Shop white elephant is...
pretty good. Yeah. The reason it didn't work is because the thing about TikTok Shop is the shipping was like 3 months. So we were like, we'd have to do it in April. So it wouldn't work.
It comes from like the depths of China.
Yes. And then so I got you pillows because I saw Bretman Rock said that they're a good Filipino snack.
My queen.
Yes.
My Filipino idol.
I'm actually gonna eat one because I've been like, whenever I interview people, I get afraid to eat, but I'm just gonna try one. So, okay. I usually don't like things that are too chocolatey, but.
Okay. Let me know how you feel. May I have one?
Oh, they're actually not bad. Have you tried them before?
It kind of tastes like cereal to me.
Oh, that's such a good way to put it.
No, I feel like if
like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. If you put milk in it, it would really like become cereal.
Entrepreneur. And then prawn crackers.
Okay, so you also have prawn crackers.
Okay, how are those?
Camera A and B, please. Me breaking the fourth wall. So these are actually. This doesn't remind me of the Philippines so much as it reminds me of Hong Kong.
Okay.
Which is good.
Okay, good. Then I did
you ticked 2 boxes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah, these ones are very delicious, reminding me of my childhood very much.
And you like spicy because I got both. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, you really are spoiling me.
Yes. And then I got some UK stuff, so we got some Cadbury's
fingers.
Apparently they're good.
They are really
and I'll
good.
let you take those home, and then also
Thank you.
Burt's. I feel like it was bold because I got cheddar and onion, and that's a very. Even if you don't like it, we'll skip it away.
No. It's like stinky.
It is like you can't. Yeah, you have to have gum in your like bag if you're gonna eat them.
No, if I didn't have like a full day ahead of me today, I would be munching on these.
It's like a late night snack. No one's home with you, but I just saw the British flag, and I was like,
I'm also sitting quite close to you, so I don't want to put you through this. Just for your own sake.
Thank you. So those are the snacks, and I hope you enjoyed it.
It was so fun. Okay, yeah, cool. Really great to chat to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for watching The Middle Row with Coco Mocoe. If you subscribe down below, then you'll get notified when new episodes go out. Comment down below an artist that you think is about to take off, who you want me to interview for this series. And if you follow the Spotify at the link down below, then you can see my playlist where I'm going to be posting artists I'm listening to and maybe hinting at future guests. Thank you so much.